Anyway, so go ahead. Right. So you like Love Dog. I had to jump in there with that.
Oh, that's a great story.
So like, not knowing if it's true or not, but it was funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think next I'm gonna go with Body Thing. I like that one.
That was my eye roll one.
Oh, really?
Because it's a man, it's men talking about hey, and I'm like,
yeah.
Right. So. Was it the funky bass in it? Because that's funky.
I think that's what it was, yeah. That's what, kind of stood out for me. Then I'm going to go with the title track, Survivin in the 80's. That always, stood out, to me. And I'm going to go with number one because I think M.O.T.F. is just an interesting track, to me. That's the one that kind of made me, like, always kind of intrigued me, like, it's something interesting going on with that song, and
so dope.
And the way that you kind of described it, now when I go back and listen to it, I'll listen to it from your perspective. Well, the whole album,
thank you.
Really. So
very deep,
yeah.
very, very deep.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta put on there. What are we doing here? That video.
That's
look.
Yeah.
Was that video. He has two of him. It was the robot him, and it was a real him, and then it was. Really, I thought we were going to be taken over by robots because they had us so scared that was going to happen.
Right.
By now, and when you had those videos, he really the label really had him bring in a heavy hitter for that video, and it was very well done, except for the dancing. Love you, but don't. I don't want to see you doing that. Don't do that.
Wow.
And again, if somebody said it, you better watch your mouth. But there was just so many other good things. It was just, I love all of the little quirky parts of what made his persona him, because there was nobody like him. And and this music really was a reflection of that. P. Ross, what you think about Body Thing?
That's my shit.
I know that's
my shit. That's number one. Number one. Yo.
I'll let you go ahead and do your thing. So what's your top five?
My top five, of course, M.O.T.F.
That's the cut, man.
Maybe the best song on the album to me. Besides Body Thing. But we'll get into Body Thing in a minute. Alright. Make Me Wanna Dance, but I like the 12-inch. The 12-inch, and it just grooves. You know what I mean? Like,
it does have a nice groove.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm on the fence. What are we doing here?
I'm telling you, I struggle with leaving that one out. That is the joint.
And Love Dog.
That's also creeping in mind too. It's yeah. Right. I like that one.
Love Dog. It reminds me. I was sitting here. I was sitting here like, where have I heard that before?
Adam.
Right. But no, it gets deeper than that. Do y'all remember Revenge of the Nerds?
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
And I'm like, damn, okay.
That's exactly what it reminds me of.
Right.
Yeah.
And my number one is Body Thing. Yo.
Body.
I was listening to that before I came on. I'm like, shit, let me listen to this one more time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's the bomb shit.
The whole album has bangers.
Right.
It's just such, and it was so it was like they did, what are we doing here? And then it was like, M.O.T.F. was never a single.
Right.
Stay should have been a single.
Right.
Yeah,
like, how do you not make that a single?
Right. So what do you have? 2 singles on here? Surviving in the 80's and Make Me Wanna Dance.
It was 3.
Yeah, I think 3.
Yeah, it was 3.
Make Me Wanna Dance.
And see, listen, hold that up, because I need a long look here. So the lady in the picture, if he knows her, from what I understand. She wasn't just some model that came and modeled. That's a sexy picture. Well, look, as fine as she is, it's like, when you a fine girl and the dude in the picture with you is better looking than you.
Right.
And you bad, but that dude in the picture with you is hot too. And just him knowing how to pose and stuff. Like, I'm trying to tell you, I would be in that record store like, God, I didn't even have a record player, so I was like, I'm not buying that. But I would go to the record store to stare at that. Yeah. Listen. No, absolutely not.
Micah, you want to rock
Who are
that?
your friends?
You want to rock that, Micah?
I don't know. I don't think I can pull that one off.
I don't want to ever see that much of no man out in public like that. I feel violated, but it makes me crack up laughing when that whole onesie. What was it? Romper. One of the guys who kept trying to recirculate the pictures talking about something. Yeah, he was ahead of his time. He was rocking Robert. Don't you post that picture?
Right.
Yeah. But the overall impression that I felt that he really didn't get the credit that he deserved, and I know that he moved into movies. I have to research that, P. Ross, because I'm telling you, I think on the low, he's involved in projects that we just don't know about.
Right, yeah.
You know, because he did the show Suddenly Susan. I had just came back from overseas. Right. That was my show before I went. One of the guys had killed himself or something on the show, and they redid the way her character was. So she had this little funky little Brooke Shields.
Right.
And I was like, wait a minute. Who did the music to the open? There's a totally different opening song. It was André Cymone.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure up under the surface, like some he done a lot of stuff.
And he done worked on, like, stuff with Paul Peterson. Like, I've been trying to get, some some information on that project because I read about it, and I actually, my ex-boyfriend had it. Somebody had the damn thing. I heard it. It's a song on there that I think was on a soundtrack, and it was either on Paul Peterson's album, Blue Cadillac or something like that. Well, it was they were the supergroup. It was Andre, Paul Peterson, Gardner Cole,
you said
and
Blue Cadillac.
Yep.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, and Paul Peterson has had a show that people were live streaming last night. He performed that song. I forgot what movie it was in. It was it was part of a soundtrack of a movie, and then Paul put it on his album. But yeah, it's kind of like a scavenger hunt to go and find out that he's involved with stuff, and it's like, I didn't know that, and he won't say anything. If you email him and ask him, he's not going to respond. He's real, he's real private when it comes to that, unless he feels like talking about it. So yeah, so thank y'all for letting me geek out with y'all about my.
Oh no problem.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
No problem. Real quick, we usually do the 5 turntable ratings, for the album. I'm just gonna give mine real quick. I definitely have a little bit more better appreciation for this album. I think I slightly like Living in the New Wave just a little bit more personally. But this is a pretty good album, you know what I'm saying, overall. I definitely got much more respect for it. And again, you definitely, gave me an eye-opener just from the concept behind the whole Surviving in the 80s and, the way that you described the album cover and things like that. So I got to go back and listen to it from your perspective. So with that being said, I'm going to give this a solid, strong 3 out of 5 turntables, So shout out to Dave Johnson and Dave Cymone, a.k.a. Dave Cymone, because he let me go back and revisit all of Andre's catalog years ago.
Yeah, Dave Cymone in the building. You know what I mean? Wanna be Andre fan.
Wanna be Andre fan.
All right, yo, check this out.
Yeah, he said that. I ain't.
Huh? Yeah, I said it.
Said that.
I said it, Dave. What? Now, I really like this album, but Living in the New Wave is it though. That's it. You know what I mean? I think Living in the New Wave is better than AC. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
But I think I gave Living in the New Wave like 4.5 when I did the review. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give this a strong 4. I'm gonna give this a strong 4. I don't think it's one whack song on this album. I'm gonna give this a strong 4 out of 5 for sure. Yeah.
Cool. So I'm just go ahead. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5 just because of what he was trying to do, how unique it was, and then you got to look at again. We didn't have black folks doing new wave.
Right.
Just didn't have them doing it. You know, everybody out of Minneapolis was trying to funk you into the middle of next week with the traditional bass, guitar, keyboard, and here this dude came with 4 keyboards, bass, and drum.
Right.
And he actually shared in the other new wave group that they had those futuristic looking drums. They were one of the first people to get them where I don't even know the name of it, but you can program them and you can actually play regular drums.
Right.
Bam Bam actually broke and he had to get another set. Like, dude, that's why he got his nickname Bam Bam, like from Flintstones, because he hit them so hard. Just what he was trying to do, and the fact that it was giving us an avenue of listening to something different. Because what was starting to happen, everybody was trying to sound like the time. Everybody was trying to. It was just like, dude, everybody starting to look the same. Right. Everybody starting to dress the same. I mean, no one crafted this but him, from the original concepts from front to back. And again, just off of code, that liner. Many men who were secure in their manhood as a brother would never, for all perpetuity. This out there forever. He ain't care though. It's like, bro, what? I still take your girl and her mama and your cat and your damn dog and that damn your brother. Because I literally heard men scream, and he has more male fans than I know as women. And I'm literally, and y'all know I go hard. I'm at the show. I'm like, yeah. And the G Sharp from the Bridge was like, it gives me great pleasure to introduce my brother. Da, da, da. And he said, André Cymone, and this man who's there with his wife. I was like, well, okay, dude, I hear you. I mean, because a lot of guys appreciated what he was doing, like the whole Dirty Mind. Our brother had to pay us something. Like, what's up?
Right.
What's good? Where everybody else was doing one thing, he's like, I'm not gonna be like everyone else. I'm gonna just cut the waist off and just have them open. Now what? Yeah. And I might not even have no drawers on, because the show didn't look like he was wearing none. And the show don't look like he wearing none here either. Okay? So anyway. That's for my ladies out there. I gotta give y'all a little bit of something too. You're welcome.
Yeah, that's hot. Shit.
It's about balance. It's about balance.
So, we definitely thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
What I'm saying? And, hopefully we could do this for the AC album, maybe.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
We could do it for every André album, shit.
Oh, listen, I'm down for the cause. I'm down for the cause, because it's something for all of us.
Right.
Something for all of us. And it's worth going back and listening to. And I think that's, as an artist, I hear him say that he really appreciates when people actually do a deep dive into what he's doing. And because it got frustrating. Just imagine having this level of talent and having to wait 3+ decades to people to catch on.
Right.
And you got kids to feed.
Right.
And you got bills to pay and stuff. And, my heart just goes out to him as an artist to be this talented. And one thing I do want to, before we get off of the call, is stress. One of the things, if you can, listen to how he lays his rhythm section down. Prince has said it too, that funk is, or was it George Clinton, that funk is really in the space between the notes.
Right, yeah.
One of the things he does well on this album and all of his projects is the space between the notes. So if you go to the Living in the New Wave, and I don't know who this person is, but I'm going to need you to stop trying to, I'm going to show y'all how to play one of his songs. It's like, don't do that. Stop. Because one thing that he does, he plays bass and guitar. Right. And there's a relationship. It's not just the bass note. It is the guitar's relationship with the note as it's coming out, the guitar's coming in.
Right.
Go to Jody Watley, Still a Thrill. Everybody jumps on the double bass.
Funky.
But what is the funkiest part is that guitar in that song. It is, my, it floors me every time. I mean, he is getting it in. He does the same on just about all of his songs. There's always that relationship with and sometimes I can't even tell if it's the keyboard and he's just making the keyboard sound like either horns and that's what he said in the interview. He actually plays the bass as if he's blowing on horns. And so there's a lot of bending and chord progression that I have a really deep appreciation with. And the fact that he's a keyboardist too, it's just, and he plays it like he plays everything. And there's a synergy there that everybody can't get away with without sounding like a demo. You know, here we are talking about an album that if you can drop M.O.T.F. or Body Thing on the radio right now, people are like, whoa, like today, like right now, because nothing again is sounding like that. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm hungry for different. I'm hungry for it. You know, I don't want what everybody else is doing.
Right. For sure. You know that.
Yeah. So thank y'all again. I really, really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
No, thank you. Appreciate you. So,
love you guys.
Oh, we love you too. For those who haven't heard this, go get a used copy on vinyl. Go stream it. I think it's on CD too. Yeah, it is on CD.
CD.
Reissued it.
It's reissued on CD, streaming, vinyl.
And I think the CD got the 12-inch mixes
too.
on it. CD got the 12-inch mixes on them. So.
Yeah, yes, the latest. They have extended versions of M.O.T.F. You hear they remastered it, so you have richer bass lines. Oh, it's dope. It is dope. There's an extended intro. So where you would normally hear the vocals come in, it goes another loop before it comes in. I want to say the song is almost 5 minutes long.
Oh, nice. 5 or
6 minutes long. Yeah, it's dope. So get the later reissue. You will not be. And he has bonus tracks on there as well.
Right. Because I got the AC one like that. So.
Yeah. That AC one. That AC one where you hear the extended, you really get to see him playing around. You hear him playing around in the studio with stuff. So yeah. Yeah,
no doubt. Yeah. So go cop this or check it out and put some respect on André Cymone's name.
That's right, y'all. Put some respect on this dude's name.
Yeah.
Big ups.
Yeah.
Thank you, Underground.
All right. One love and we out. Peace.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Deuces.